All right, Shalom, Shalom, bear with us. Check the feed. All right, we live. Hey, Shalom out there.
Shalom,
Okay,
shalom.
we are the brothers of Great Millstone Charlotte, back at you with another live lesson. And before we get started, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth, and double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring, the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. All right, we're back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit. The title of this show here is America's Systematic Oppression Against Jake, the Pit. All right, this system, as we're going to go through this lesson here, this very American system was set up to be Jake's oppression. This is regarded as the pit, the trap. All right, America, the place of bitterness. All right, where we were set up to endure or undergo this captivity, man. You know, so got a few videos here, a couple videos here, and we got some precepts to back up and just want to edify. That's why when we get into this thing, you're going to see why Yahweh Shema Shah has to destroy this very system, man. Okay, this is part of Psalms 40 and verse 2. It regards this place as the horrible pit. Okay, the place without any truth, without any water, any justice. So we're going to get into some of the history here, a little bit of history, you know, just reflecting on that shameful spewing upon Esau's glory, man. Okay, because, hey, the scriptures do tell us that Yahweh Shema Shai required of which is past, you know. So let's get into that. We pray that this lesson is edifying, man. So this is from Forbes. This came out last year. It says how America's legacy of racial terror still affects Black wealth. All right, so we'll play a little bit of this and then we'll edify. So let's get into it.
After the American Civil War, the country entered a period known as Reconstruction, during which it set about reintegrating the Confederate States and nearly 4 million newly freed enslaved people. But African Americans were hardly given a foundation on which to build their new lives after the war. No reparations were paid to the formerly enslaved for what they and their families had endured for generations. Many had been told they'd be given a small plot of land to get started on, and while there were plans to allocate some land to the formerly enslaved after the war, such as Special Field Order Number 15, much of the land seized by Union forces or promised to African Americans was later given back to white Southern citizens, ex-slave owners, and to white Northern entrepreneurs. The following decades saw African Americans slowly gain more economic and political power. They bought land, started businesses, and built schools. But in many places where African Americans succeeded, white Americans set out to destroy that success.
The Civil War was a revolution. It destroyed the most powerful slave-owning class in the world. And now the question is, what's going to replace it? The freed people had a clear understanding of what their freedom meant. They wanted self-determination. They wanted to reconstitute their families. They wanted to live as far away from white people as they could. They basically wanted to be left alone. But they also wanted to be citizens. And they wanted to exercise the rights that other citizens did. And so on some level, Reconstruction was designed to answer this question about the meaning of freedom. And so African Americans became citizens. Slavery is abolished with the 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, nationalizes citizenship, and creates due process. And so now Black people have equal protection before the law, and they can now run for office, hold office, and participate in society. It succeeded for a brief time that it existed. Black people were running for election, they were holding office, they were integrated schools. We were beginning to act and behave like a democracy. By 1877, as the North tires of Reconstruction, we see the withdrawal of troops and on some level, really the withdrawal of federal protection of Black people's rights. Just because the federal government said Reconstruction was over didn't mean that Black people stopped living their lives like free people. They continued to hold office. They continued to form these very important biracial political parties and movements. They joined interracial unions. They began to own businesses. some cases owning land, extraordinary success in the face of a lot of violence and not much federal protection. But what happens in the 1890s is that the Southern elite decides for themselves what the meaning of freedom is going to be. They're going to strip Black people of their citizenship. White supremacy is reconstituted in the 1890s, and it can't look the same as it did in slavery. And so what you end up with is disfranchisement and segregation and sharecropping and convict labor and debt peonage. But underwriting that is extraordinary violence and terror.
You got it, brother. Go ahead.
I just wanted to get this definition for the word citizenship and the precept. So we had a citizenship. It goes into status, rights, privileges, and responsibilities of the citizen. And after this period, Jake was stripped of his freedoms, right? And they were tossed into the era of Jim Crow. So these things, as the video is discussing, has a direct causation to this very day. Now, I just wanted to get a precept. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be, and cursed shalt thou be. Cursed shalt thou be thy basket and thy store. So Jake had pretty much cursed because of our iniquity, right?
Mhm.
They were cursed because of our disobedience. This curse is still upon our people to this very day, due to continual disobedience that has been long on our people. And this right here that the lady is discussing is a direct link up with curses that read in Deuteronomy.
That's right. This is all tied to the systematic oppression of Jake, which this system was designed to be so. All right. And for centuries, Jake has looked for rest. Jake has looked for comfort. He's looked for a solution. All right. But the Lord told us, let's pull that back up. All right. This is Micah 2:10. Micah 2:10, and it reads, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. All right. So this kingdom, this society wasn't set up to be your comfort, your rest. This place was set up to be ultimately our captivity. Okay. And it says, arise ye and depart, because spiritually, all right, the Lord is calling us to come out of the mindset of this place, because this place was never set up to be for us. Right. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. So in this video right here, I want to play. All right. This whole system was sitting around benefiting off the slavery and the destruction of our people. That's why this place is known as what? The pit, man. All right. This is that a place of bitterness, and we'll get that as well. But let's play this too, just to add on to this, because when you understand this, right, then you understand why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has to completely destroy America, man. Okay. Let me pull this up. All right.
Here's the stupidity of man, to think that he can do evil, even some monstrous evil, and it won't have any back.
Salakia. Play that back.
Here's the stupidity of man, to think that he can do evil, even some monstrous evil, and it won't have any backlash on himself. But of course, it seldom works that way. And the moment he figures that out, he starts looking for a way to avoid the repercussions of what he's done. This is what happened with slavery. In the early 1800s, as it began to look like the end of slavery might be on the horizon, white America started to be concerned that a day of reckoning was coming. The primary fear for the average person was of retribution and insurrection, and that was a reasonable fear. After all, it's illogical to think that you can do to a whole group of people what was done to African Americans and think that they will just take it lying down forever. And of course, there were things like the Nat Turner uprisings. But for the wealthy elite, their fears went beyond things like insurrection. They were worried about the financial impact. Remember, it was not just the cotton plantations that profited from slavery. Whether you're talking about the banks or the insurance companies, the railroads, even the newspapers, The fact is that almost every aspect of the American economy was at some level or another invested in the slave business.
Whew, that's heavy, man. So every aspect about this American economy was invested in slavery. All right, this whole system was set up to forward your destruction, man. All right, this place benefited off this destruction of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Hispanics, as you can see here on the left. All right, it says the CIA was responsible for pumping heroin and crack cocaine in poor Black American communities and much more. Racist U.S. government policies created the Black American ghettos via redlining, systematic racism, defunding, disinvestment, disenfranchisement, economic discrimination, drug proliferation, mass incarceration, dilapidated schools, and benign neglect, man. All right. So this place was designed for your destruction. And that's why it's known as what? That place of bitterness. I'm going to read this. All right. Just as Jeremiah prophesied. Okay. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 21. And it reads, it says, in those days and in that time, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there should be none. And the sins of Judah, they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve. And that's dealing with the elect. All right, the remnant. And we're in the time of what? The Lord, calling us back. We're repenting, coming back to him in spirit and truth. All right. And we're in that time of what? Of mercy, man. Lord, willing we be found blameless before the throne of the Lord. All right. It says the point, verse 21, it says, go up against the land of Merathaim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekod, waste and utterly destroy after them, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. Because we know as a result of what this place has done against the Lord's people, the apple of his eye, is destruction is going to be the reward of Babylon. All right. Now I want to get this word from Merathaim. Okay. Let's pull that up. All right. That word is how you pronounce it? Marathaim, right?
Marathaim.
Yep, Marathaim, which goes back to double rebellion. It says another name for Babylon. All right. So that's another name for Babylon, America, double rebellion. And this place is in double rebellion against Yahweh Shema Shai. Pursuing to Revelation 18, the Lord said, what? Reward Babylon double unto her. All right. Now, the root word here, which that word was, what was it? Marah? Maror. All right. In the Hebrew, which breaks down to what? Bitter. Bitterness, bitterly. Okay. Discontented, heavy, bitter thing. And that's America. Okay. America going back to bitterness. This place was our captivity, our destruction. Okay. It says bitterness of water of food. Right. And that's heavy too, because there's no water for Jake. We'll get that in a second. No truth, no justice. It says of harlots end of wickedness cry figuratively, bitterly. And then what was the other one? Oh, heavy. All right, because this place is also likened unto a burden unto our people. If you want to grab that Isaiah chapter 13, I pull that up just to add on to that. And I got one right behind it.
Can I get a definition for you real quick?
You got it, brother. Get it out.
Just a definition for the word pit. It says a miserable or depressing place or situation. And that's what we're in right now. We're in the pit. And we read in the what's it called? The biblical manners and customs. It says there are several Hebrew words that are rendered pit. In our text verse, the Hebrew word translated to pit signifies an abyss or deep hole, like a dungeon.
Yeah.
So you go into pit in what is it, Psalm 40 and 2. It talks about cisterns that were drained of their water and used as prisons.
Exactly.
So I got
that for you. Before we get that Isaiah 13, let me read that. This is Psalms 40 and 1. It says, I waited patiently for the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry, right? Which the cries of the saints are going up to Yahweh Shema Shai now. It says, verse 2, it says, he brought me up also out of a horrible pit. And that horrible pit is America. All right. America is literally the trap house for the tribes, man. The place without justice, man. You know, it says, and he had brought me up out of the horrible pit, also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay. All right. Going back to what that, the revised Roman Empire, which is being exercised through America, NATO, and the EU. All right. And the Lord is coming to deliver us out of the miry clay, because there's no escaping the pit without Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. It says, out of the miry clay and set my feet upon a rock and establish my goings. And now the remnant, the elect, have been established upon the rock, which is ultimately Yahweh Shai. Right. We've been established with this truth, with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is how we're going to be delivered out of the pit. And as the brother was saying here, all right, the brother Quanawaf, right, let me pull this up, because that word pit breaks down to cistern or dungeon, right? And I was looking that up on the etymology.com. So that word cistern, right, it breaks down to natural or artificial receptacle for holding water or some other fluid, mid 13th century. From Old French cisterne or cistern, dungeon, underground prison. You see that? And now I was looking up some more information on that, and it brought me to what was called a maritime prison, which is basically that cistern that where they had the water removed and they would throw the prisoners down. So as you can see here on the top, there's a hole here where they would throw the prisoners down and he would be in prison. He would be in the dungeon, in the pit. Let me get another picture here. Right here. This is a good one right here. Let me blow it up a little bit. So America is likened unto that, to that dungeon, you know, that cistern, man, where they would throw the prisoners, and we are the prisoners. All right. Jeremiah chapter 50 and 33, Israel and Judah went into captivity together, and all that held them fast refused to let them go. You see that?
I get it.
You got it, brother.
The echo is really bad.
It's real bad. God damn, boy. All right, let me see if I can turn the mic down or mute it, Salakia.
You want me back?
Con. This is Psalm chapter 10 and verse 8. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set upon against the poor, and pretty much the poor being the Israelites. And we can see this, you know, how this man has a system set up, you know, how he does the food, how he puts Walmarts near each hood, you know. It says, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. And pretty much that's Esau's MO. You know, he likes to set traps for Jake. You know, that's why this place is known as the trap, or that dungeon that we were just talking about.
That's right. Can you hear me?
Gone.
Okay, yeah, y'all are going in and out. I'm looking on the comment board here. It says, you know, the feedback. There's an echo. How's it sounding? Yeah, brothers are saying it's a bad echo. It's echoing bad. Man, this is crazy. How it still sounds? It's still the same, huh?
Yeah, I think it's echoing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to chalk it. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense to keep going if it's gonna be echoing like that. Let me try one more option. If that don't work, we'll just revisit it, you know. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, is it any different or is it still the same?
Just when we talk.
All right. You know what? We'll wrap it. We'll just leave it here. There's no point. You know what I'm saying? He said everybody else. Hold on. He said preset Quantum Waffle is echoing. Brothers are saying it's perfect now. It's clear to me. All right.
Yeah, everyone echoes. Everyone echoes, but
man, this shit is crazy. All right. I mean, people are saying it's better. So I'm thinking, should we just go ahead and go on with it or what? I mean, it's people saying it's better. It's Quantum Waffle, they're saying you're echoing. You know?
Everyone's echoing.
Everyone's echoing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Salaki to all those that's tuning in. It's always some bullshit with these devices, you know, these apps. How y'all brothers feel? We just revisit it. You want to do that?
Yeah, we can.
Because I know you got to make moves in about 30 minutes. Quantum Waffle, why don't you and your mom jump on something then?
Come.
All right, and then we'll revisit it because you know brothers are saying you know I'm getting mixed comments here. You know, some brothers saying it's good, some brothers saying it's echoing. So we'll revisit this. All right, you know. So hey, we'll come back to it, Akim Akwathia, man. You know, so we'll leave it like that, man. So we'll close it out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Kakwadash. All right, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. We taught us is truth and double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring, and we'll come back and revisit. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.